This is the 2023 Toyota Rav4 XLE all-wheel drive. Now I expect here, it comes just under $37,000. Normally it's not that expensive, but this one is, and I'll show you exactly why. So in this video, I'm going to show you every little thing about this car that you need to know. We're going to start with the engine, we're going to talk about how comfortable the seats are, and the seats are very special in this one. And we'll also talk about the second row, and at the end, we'll get inside the trunk and see exactly how big that is. And just quickly, I wanted to give a huge shout out to King's Toyota here in Mason, Ohio at the King's Auto Mall for allowing me to film this video with the Rav4. Alright folks, so this is your front end. Nothing special here. It's been like this forever now. This is your headlight module. You're looking at your low and high beams right there, your indicator lights there, and your DRLs right there. Alright folks, so this is your 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine that you get in the Rav4, and the Camry shares the same engine. Now this engine produces 203 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. But nothing else special to say about that. The fuel economy numbers, I'll put it on the screen now. But before we move on, I wanted to mention one very special thing. This is your air filter. That is your battery. It's so easily accessible, you can do the repairs yourself. Switch it out, very easy to do. This is very rare these days because most of the new cars are actually preventing you from access to these parts. Very simple things to do here, but they want you to go in, they want you to spend money. So this is really nice. Thumbs up for me. Before we hop inside, just wanted to mention that these turn signal indicator lights are actually standard from XLE up. You don't get them in ALE model. All right, so key in my pocket. This one does have smart unlock, so put your hand in. You can see the lights beep. There we go, it unlocks the car for you. And here is your door panel. Very hard up here. All this is super hard, even down here. It'll probably be durable down here if you're storing stuff, but up here it needs to be a little bit soft, so people do like to put their elbows up here. And this is just a tad bit softer than that, so I don't think it's that soft really. And then here is your window controls, lock, and then mirror controls over here. And one quick thing about these window controls is that these are all one touch up and down, not just for the driver here, but even for the passenger controls over there and in the back seat. And that is a great feature, and sometimes it's very underrated. And then at the bottom, your cup holder, as well as some small storage and one speaker down there. Now remember at the beginning of the video, I said the seats are very special in this car? Now that's because they are an add-on item that the dealership has upgraded themselves. This is not from Toyota. So what dealership has done is normally this car comes with cloth seats, but they've actually upgraded them to real genuine leather. They've also added heated seat option for both driver and the front passenger. Now all that comes to about $2,700 on top of the actual price of this car, which you can see in the window sticker here. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes I actually prefer the cloth seats because they tend to be a little bit more cushy than leather. That's just me. Now even if you do get the cloth seats in the Rav4, you still get the driver's seat to be electronically adjusting. So this one actually adjusts forward and back, up, down. The backrest would come forward and back, and then you also have the thigh support that goes up and down. This one also has the lumbar support, so it's right here. It does not adjust up and down though. Just comes out and back in. And while we're on the front seat, as you can see, the front passenger seat is manually adjusting. No electronic controls over here. All right, here's your view from inside of the Rav4. As you can see, there is a blind spot indicator in the mirror right there, as well as these pillars are actually very small, which is great for visibility. Time to fire it up. Key, foot on the brake, and the start stop button. There you go. As you can see, there is a middle LCD screen which shows your speed. The left is your engine RPM, and on the right is your engine temperature as well as your fuel level. Pretty simple, nothing special there. You can control that middle screen using these buttons over here. Take the call button right there, volume up and down, and then this is for your safety systems, Toyota Safety Sense. This is for your wiper controls, and that is for your turn signal stock. On the left here, you have your brightness for that screen here in the middle. And then this is for your automatic high and low beam. And at the bottom, this is your hood popper, and that is for your fuel door. Here is your 8-inch touchscreen, which now supports wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which gets a huge thumbs up. The other thing I actually like about this is that it's actually very responsive. So if I click there, as you can see, it registers right away. But one thing I can't do right now is set it up because the actual owner of this car would have to do that, and I'm just borrowing it from the dealership, so cannot actually go any further than that. But good to see that it's actually very responsive. You also get a volume knob, which actually also functions as your shutoff for your radio and audio system. You don't get a tuner knob, which actually I don't really like. I want a tuner knob, man, come on. And then this is your hazards, and down here I'm a huge fan of these huge dials for the fan as well as your temperature controls over here. You have to really come and feel these. One really good thing about this is like it's big, so it's easier to grab. The other thing is it's covered in rubber here, so it's easier to grip even if you have gloves on or something. So very nice to see that here, and that gets a huge thumbs up from me. Then down here, your traction control on off button as well as your automatic engine start stop button right there. You got a USB-A port. Kind of sad to see no USB-C there. You're gonna have to migrate soon, Toyota. And then your cigarette lighter style power outlet down there as well. And then this is not a wireless charger, it's just a small cubby to store something if you really need to. And down here, here's your parking brake and your brake hold button. Now you see your parking brake is actually on right now. That's nothing to worry about. Every time you put it in park, it automatically engages the parking brake. This is something that all new Toyotas do, so nothing to be worried about there. Here is all of your drive modes. I don't think you'll ever be using those really, but you can if you want. They're here. And then real small cubby. I mean, look at how small that is. I can't even bend my finger and fit that in there. That's real small. I'm not sure what that is for. And then you got two big cup holders here in the middle. That's great. And as I said earlier, this car is equipped with your heated seat option, so you can control that with here for your driver seat and then over here for the passenger seat. The reason these are in a weird spot is because these are aftermarket, done by the dealership, and then normally if it's done by Toyota, it will be around here somewhere. Alrighty, time to look inside the glove box. Now to open this, you don't press it up, you press it in, and there you go, it opens up. Now this is decently big. It's not too big. As you can see, my hand just fits in there. I'd say about a half a foot this way, and then maybe a little bit more than half a foot that way, and then same amount deep as well. You do get USB-Cs in here, which is great to see as well. And over here is your passenger door panel, exactly the same as the driver, so nothing special over there. I like the cubby here. We're losing those more and more, although I would have loved it if this was covered. You could close it, you know what I mean? Like otherwise stuff flies out here. This is your glove box. I like that as well. Fairly decent size again. The air filter is right behind there, so if you want to service it. If you don't know how to do that, check out my video up there. Very easy to do, something you can really easily save money on. Check it out. Let's move on. And then finally up here, here's your rear view mirror, and here's your SOS button. This is your door button, so that actually controls the lights if your doors are open. Right now it is, so it turns on. This individually controls the lights, as you can see, and this turns them both on at the same time if you so desire. And look at this. This is pretty cool. This is pretty standard. You have a mirror for makeup, but that is not. A lot of more expensive cars don't even have that, so I'm really glad to see that. You also have that on the driver's side too. Look at that. That is amazing to see. Now quickly before we talk about the second row, wanted to mention that this door actually only opens about this much, and as you can see, if it was 90 degree it would open till here, and that's what I would have liked to see, because a lot of these cars are used for family and it's easier to get the car seats in, the kids in, if it opens 90 degrees. I don't know if the CR-V offers that option, but I have seen other cars offer that, so would have liked to see that here. But now let's talk about the door panel here. Again, the same hard plastic over here. I mean, hurt my knuckles if I bang too much here. But again, there's your small cup holder, speaker. This is good though. This is where your elbows normally would rest. So, I mean, it wouldn't hurt that much, but it's not gonna be that good. And this is for your child lock. So if you press it down, your kids cannot open it from the inside. If it's unlocked, you can only open it from the outside, which that's what it's for. All right, here we are in the back seat of the Toyota RAV4. Now, I've set that seat for me. I'm a 6-foot guy, so that actually tells you if I actually fit behind myself if the seat is reclined a little bit. And I do, with room to spare. That's great. I can actually put my foot under the seat a little bit with it before touching something down there. So there is a hump here in the middle, which is probably for the all-wheel drive system. The drive shaft is going down there in the middle. It's not very high. It's about 2 inches off the floor. So it's not that much of an issue, but for a middle passenger to sit there for a while, it probably would be. But anyway, you have 2 climate vents here in the middle, as well as 2 USB-C ports. That gets a huge thumbs up. You also have 2 seat back pockets, and that's good because sometimes they skimp on the driver one, and in here they haven't done that, so that's good. You also have a middle armrest, which is very cushy with 2 cup holders. I like that. This is going to be very comfortable back here if I'm here in a long drive. If there's 4 people. If there's 5, you might get a little bit hasty, if you know what I mean. these seats actually do recline just a little bit, which actually helps in a long drive. So there's a button here which actually you use to fold the seats down, but you can use the same one and then push back to recline that little bit. So it's not much, but actually it would help a lot, which is good, and I'll take it. Even if it's a little bit, I'll take it over nothing any day. Actually, just notice something really cool. If you pull this tab, you can see there's a red tab that pops up. That actually tells you it's not in a locking position. So if you let it go right now, it's not gonna lock. But if you push it back, it goes down, and that's locked. But anyway, let's put it down. And this is the cargo space. This actually does come out, so you can pull that out. And there you go. This is quite big, certainly bigger than that Corolla Cross that I was talking about. The one thing I do want to mention here is that this is not all the way flat. It is in terms of there's no big hump. However, from here there is a little bit of an angle up because of the seats here. Maybe this angle can do it a little bit of justice. Now here's the back of the Rav4 logo, XLE all-wheel drive, as you can see, pretty standard. Ignore the dirt here, it's been sitting out here in the weather. Obviously it's gonna have rain and stuff, so apologies for that. Under the Toyota logo here, this actually unlocks your trunk, but pressing this button would actually lock your car from the outside as long as you have your key on you. There's your rear view camera, and then 2 lights for your license plate that goes here as well. And then to open it up, just press that button I mentioned, and you do have to lift it up quite a bit. But then once you do almost about halfway, the hydraulics take over and it helps you out the rest of the way. Because this is not automatic, you do also have to pull it down and close it yourselves as well. Now on the left here, inside, I don't see anything of interest there. And on the right, there is a little bit of a light there, and then your cigarette lighter style power outlet in there. And since this car does have roof rails, you have some tools to be able to adjust them or remove them. Those are here as well. This is for your license plate mount. And here's your cargo floor mat, which is included in the price of this car. There's also some hooks in here as well, over the one there, one here, and then one on the corners on the each side as well. You push that in, and guess what? There is a spare tire. There is no replacement for a spare tire, even if it's just a temporary spare. It's way better than having to use one of those flat repair kits. Now I'll remove the cargo liners here so you can now see everything easier. One thing I really wanted to point out is this floor actually can come out and be lowered down. When you remove it, you just have to lift it out. Actually, that gives you access to your flat tire here, very easy. However, if you want to lower it, you just put it into these bottom settings here and push it in, and there you go. Now you have a lip here, so if you have something in here that would roll out or something, this lip would stop it from rolling out. This is actually really nice. If you're storing something in here and you need it covered, you can use this. So you can bring it out, and there you go, it locks it in place. Once the trunk closes, anything under here will be covered. Gives you a little bit of privacy that way. Now let's get inside and see if I fit. All right, I do fit. I'm not surprised at all, because these things are designed to be family haulers, and if you're a family hauler, family is gonna have a luggage. So although if you do have that net cover here, it will probably stop me from sitting all the way back up to the seat. But with that removed, I can fit in here. And who's gonna be sitting here in the back? Let's be honest, right? It's just gonna be luggage. So you can have that, or you can take it off. I have this cover in my car as well. I never use it, but it's always good to have an option if you need it. Let's also take a quick look at the wheels here. This is a 17-inch wheel wrapped in a 225/65R17 tire. So this is a pretty good and a hefty sidewall that's going to be really good for comfort inside. Might not be really good for sportiness, but again, this tire is not really designed for that. All right, folks, so this was the 2023 Toyota RAV4 XLE. Let me know what you guys thought about this one. How do you think it stacks up against the CR-V, which I've also done the video on, by the way. Make sure to check that out on my channel as well. But anyway, if you made it all the way back here, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It will really help me out a lot. With that said, I'll see you next time.